It's that time of the year, folks. The weather is getting colder, the children are dressing up for the candy gathering ritual, and Santa Claus has placed his little knickknacks all over the store shelves. It is on this holy day that I have prepared something special for you, my wonderful viewers. If you recall, 3 moons ago I uploaded what has become my most popular video to date, a tier list ranking all of the retro shooters that I have played. If you have looked in the comment section on that video for more than 10 seconds, you will have noticed a pattern. Blood on C tier gave me an aneurysm. I think you should give Blood another try. Ranking Blood C tier because you're bad at it is certainly a take. I agree with almost everything except the blood. Well then, you have asked, and so you shall receive. This video will be chronicling my entire first playthrough of Blood Fresh Supply. At the end, I will decide if it is still deserving of the placement of C tier, or if it will maybe climb the ranks and join the other greats. The rules will be as follows. I'll be playing on the lightly broiled difficulty, as this game is known for being particularly cruel, and I will be utilizing quick saves and quick loads, because it's a feature in the game and not using it will just result in my playthrough taking more time than it needs to. Now, before we get to the gameplay, I would like to do a special little segment with you, called Willis Reads Comments from the Tier List video. There are so many issues in this list in my opinion. Also forgot quite literally the grandfather of all boomer shooters, Wolfenstein. Also forgot Forgive Me Father and Serious Sam. I didn't forget Wolfenstein or Forgive Me Father or Serious Sam, it's just that I've not actually played them. There's actually been there's a lot of comments in the video, or in the comment section, that are mentioning like, oh, where you forgot this or this. And it's not that I forgot it, it's that I've not played it. If you know, I say that it's all the shooters, also all boomer shooters that I've played. I'll get to it probably, maybe. Still hoping you do that Hrot review, really great game. I did do it, it's on the channel, it's right there, you can watch it right now, and you should. Doom in C tier is a war crime. This is something that I've seen everywhere within the boomer shooter community, and it's very frustrating to see. And it is the idea that Doom, or anything, basically anything from like Doom to like Quake, is like perfection, and anything afterwards is meh in comparison. And I'm very fucking tired of it, because this is the way that I think of it, right? Doom, it's not bad, right? It's not a bad game. And this extends to Doom 2 and Doom 64 because they're all, you know, they have the same gameplay. They are not bad. They are good. I will say they are good games. However, when I'm judging the game, I'm not judging it with like a Doom as well as like Final Doom, where Final Doom has Plutonium, I forget what it's called, and the TNT Experiment. Those 2 expansions, right? That, I'm not judging based on that, because those were expansions. Those were not in the original game. And it extends to mods as well. Like, I know like shit like Brutal Doom exists. I'm not judging Doom based on that, because then I'm judging it based on like Doom plus Brutal Doom. When I judge the game, it is just Doom. And by extension, Doom 2, because that's also on the tier list. Those games, they're good, but they ain't fucking perfect. And I'm really, really tired of seeing all these fucking 30-year-olds who were like 6 when Doom came out or something. They were like 6 or 5 or 6 when Doom came out, and they played it, and it was like their favorite video game, and now they think that anything trying to replicate it is worse in some way, when that's just factually incorrect. Get off your fucking high horse. Get this through your monster calcified fucking skull. Doom is not perfect. It is fine at best, because it started the genre. Just because it started the genre, just because it made first-person shooters popular, does not mean it's perfect, because it's far from fucking perfect. If a perfect video that encapsulates it is Some Call Me Johnny. He just did a video on Unreal. Go watch that shit. I like 100% agree with like what he says. You should have included the other Doom games, Doom 3, 64, 2016. See, the reason I didn't include those games, for one thing, Doom 64, I've not finished it, and so I didn't want to put it in the list. I have played it, but I haven't gone through the whole thing, and that might sound a little hypocritical, because I put Blood in the tier list even though I hadn't finished that. But you know, thing you got to know about that tier list videos, it was very much a last minute decision to make it, so I wasn't thinking a whole lot. Doom 3, I would not consider that a boom shoot, honestly, or even like a retro shooter. That is, I don't want to say it's closer to Halo, where like things were getting more modern, they were getting away from that original design philosophy, but it definitely does not use the same design philosophy as the first few Doom games. It's more like people have said it's a horror game. It's not really an action shooter. It is a horror shooter. And I didn't include 2016 or Eternal because those also differ a lot in terms of just design. They are more of like arena shooters, and they have a lot more modern things in them, like a lot more modern design, that they're just separate, and I wouldn't consider them boom shoots, nor even retro shooters. I wouldn't. Turbo Overkill, Ultra Kill, Postal Brain Damaged. These aren't even close to being boomer shooters. Also, you should replay Blood and plan your attacks more carefully. Oh, for the blood thing, that's what I'm doing in this video. As for the previous things, Ultra Kill, yeah, I can agree with that. It's honestly, I've had more time to think about it, and it's becoming very much like its own thing. But Postal Brain Damage and Turbo Overkill, I would disagree. I think those are actually, Turbo Overkill in particular, I think is probably the peak of boomer shooter / retro shooter design. I think it encapsulates everything that the genre is. And also, can we get rid of the distinction of boomer shooter and retro shooter? Because I think it's fucking stupid that they're they're technically two separate things, where when you say boomer shooter, you're referring to anything from, well, like Wolfenstein up to like at latest like Half-Life 2, and that's kind of stretching it. Whereas retro shooter is referring to like anything released since like Dusk that's trying to bring back that old design and philosophy. It is fucking stupid to have that distinction because they're all designed the same way. They're all made for the same fucking audience. FYI, all the games that take skill to play like Blood and Doom are C tier because you can't just kite and spam jump Keck W. Modern design is so bad in most of these new games, it's ridiculous. Brother, have you played Doom? All you do is kite. That's all you do. This guy's just a fucking chud. I don't care. He's stupid. Moving on. I'm not gonna read this one out, not because I don't like it. It's actually because I do like it. This dude is the smartest person in the comments section. This dude, he's a real one. He's a G. I like him. Boomer shooter, only one game of the list. Shadow Warriors is a true boomer shooter. Please make a tier list of actual boomer shooter games like Doom, Duke Nukem, Blood, Heretic, Hexen, Turok, Wolfenstein, Chex Quest, etc. I don't think he got like halfway through the video. And as for Heretic, Hexen, Turok, Wolfenstein, Chex Quest, and whatnot, they're not on the tier list because, kind of like what I said earlier, I haven't played them. Yeah, I don't know, man. Shadow Warriors right there. You know, Doom, Duke Nukem, and Blood, they're on the list, buddy. I think he got like halfway through and stopped watching. How is Doom only a C tier? I ranted about this just a bit ago. It ain't perfect. It's fine. This guy literally got into boomer shooters 3 hours ago, then played 1 to 2 games and made a video about it. Having Doom on the C tier already invalidates your list. Again! Doom is not perfect! Get off your fucking high horse! You wretched 30-year-old. Can't stand Ultra Kill anymore. Community is trash and it tries too hard to be funny and quirky to the point to where I got fed up and uninstalled it and abandoned the godforsaken community. I can understand why you would want to leave the community. They are quite silly, to say the least, but I don't think you should judge a game based on its community, because look at the Sonic fan base. That might sound a little silly, but there's at least some good games in there. But if you know anything about Sonic on the internet, it's that the fan base is kind of garbage and kind of weird, to say the least. So, what did we learn from reading comments? Well, I'm never doing it again. The ones that are nice, that's for sure, but the comments that are saying things like, well, like what the one guy said of modern design in these games is bad, and the fact that all you have to do is spam jump and kite, that's just stupid. That's a stupid comment. I'm sorry, but it is just unintelligent. Like I said, with that in particular, that's all you do in Doom. That's all you can do in Doom. You can't even jump. In Doom, all you can do is kite enemies. You just run in circles. That's not good design, buddy. I'm sorry. At least in something like okay, look at Turbo Overkill, right? I can slide, I can double jump right off the bat, I get 2 dashes, the slide actually has, like, momentum, I can grapple, I can do all sorts of shit. Saying that Doom's movement is better than, like, saying that Doom takes more skill because all you can do is run around in circles, I'm sorry, man, that's fucking stupid. So it's comments like that are just unintelligent. And so I don't think I'm ever gonna take comments seriously. That's what we've learned. That's the lesson. Let's get on with the rest of this video.
Welcome, my servants, my slaves.
What is your bidding, Master?
You have failed me. I disavow you all.
What?
I've taken your love. Now I will take your life. Consider my power in a hollow grave.
I live again.
So if you couldn't tell, this game was released in 1997. I started my journey through Blood by immediately going into the settings menu and fucking with the FOV slider until it didn't make me puke from looking up and down. Something that actually kind of annoyed me was that there doesn't seem to be any setting for the voice volume. So you can change the sound of everything else to be at a comfortable level, but then Caleb talks and it's like, Editor's note, apparently Caleb's voice lines are connected to the sound volume, not to be confused with the music volume. Using my gigantic gamer brain, I turned this column around to get some secret dynamite and exit my own crypt to actually start the journey of Blood. So I've done this level a few times before, but this time I was really trying to learn the game, so I was paying a bit more attention. This very first instance of a cultist would be an omen of the dreadful things known as hit scanners, a thing that this game is very comfortable getting you familiar with. I think this level acts as a very good introduction to the game as a whole, and I can see how someone would be hooked after just this one level. The second level, however, is kind of iffy for me. I remember when I first played, I would get stuck after this room because I was too stupid to go back along the upper paths. I have, however, rectified this, as I did complete the level because, you know, we're getting through the whole game this time. I actually didn't realize this was supposed to be a train station until way after I beat it. I think I still have some amount of stupid left in me. Next is everyone's favorite level, Phantom Express. This is an alright level, it's not terrible, but by the end I was annoyed that the whole thing was just go to the back of the train, then go to the front. But this was mainly because when I started the level, I didn't turn around to see the locked door, or if I did, I forgot about it. So after the dining card, I was running around not knowing where to go, which is always really fucking annoying in these types of games. It was also this level that I started to get a feel for the shotgun, and that it's kind of an in-between of the normal shotgun and the super shotgun from Doom. It actually has decent range, but still excels at up-close encounters. I learned a couple of other things from this level too. One, it's really annoying to be at low health at any time, and two, this game is really fucking silly. The shenanigans that occur from one bundle of dynamite is like an episode of Looney Tunes. It's quite hilarious. Now, E1M4 Dark Carnival. This is where the game hooked me in, where it clicked on why people love this game. Before this, I was just thinking, yeah, this is all fine and dandy, whatever, man. But here, particularly here, the stand of the Grim Reaper says, and then the mimes and Caleb saying,
I hate mimes.
and the music and the look and feel of everything, it was perfect. To me, this is the peak of episode 1. It was the point of my enlightenment. One set piece I really liked was the snake pit room, because like you see these posters all around the circus talking about JoJo the circus idiot, and then to get a key, you have to do the tightrope act that JoJo would have done. It is simply great.
I want JoJo. I want JoJo. JoJo. JoJo.
Also in this level, I got the Tommy gun for the first time, which is just a wonderful gun all around. Not really any downsides, but it's not super special either. This is also the first level with a gargoyle, which is frightening at first, but luckily they don't have too much health. You kind of just spaz out in the air when they see you. There's just a lot going on here, and I love it. The end of this level introduces water, and just like other 90s shooters, it's quite finicky to get through it, and especially getting out of it. The next two levels, Hallowed Grounds and the Great Temple, were kind of whatever levels for me. I don't think they're necessarily bad, but having two levels in a row that are both just temples is kind of boring. The final level of Episode 1, Altar of Stone, is home to the first boss of the game, Chiog. And just like every other boss and every other boom shoot, he's pretty much just a souped-up normal enemy with more health and more damage. For this encounter of Chiog, I actually fought him legit and did not use the crouching method. I cannot say the same for future battles, however. And that is the end of Episode 1. I think it's a very good introduction to the game, and it definitely hooked me by the time I finished it. I can easily see why new players would be put off by it though, as the ammo in this episode is not nearly as plentiful as in later episodes. I believe Episode 1 starts off strong, peaks at E1M4, it was a smidgen downhill with the last three levels. 4 Yamchas out of a Cyberman. So with Episode 1 completed, I was ready for Episode 2, especially since I'd seen in some comments that after Episode 1, the game is far less stingy with ammo and weapons. This was indeed true, as when I started E2M1, I not only had a pitchfork, but a sawed-off as well. I thought this level was pretty great. In fact, I think this is a better first level for an episode than E1M1 was. The entire level taking place on a boat was a very interesting setting, and I think the game did pretty well with what limited tools they had to convey that this wooden thing is a boat. I believe this is the first level to feature gill beasts, and I thought they were more funny than threatening. In the water, they can be a little annoying, but not anything to freak out about. Now, after E2M1, I feel like Episode 2 goes downhill for basically the rest of its run. It starts with the lumber mill, which, as you can tell from the one note I typed for it, I did not like the lumber mill. This level is fairly large, and the keys and doors are pretty spread out, which makes navigation annoying. And there was one part where I was at 1 health point and had to reload a bunch of times to take out this group of cultists. Not very fun. The next 3 levels were even more just... They're all very similar, so in my mind, they kind of lump together. But the main thing I remember is looking for a key in a literal hedge maze is not very fun, and running around 2 different giant houses for an extended period of time can result in at least 12 blood vessels bursting. This is immediately juxtaposed by the shortness of E2M6, which was a lot shorter than the previous 3 maps. I don't really have a lot to say about it, it wasn't very memorable, and that's kind of the same with E2M7, which is just a cave level. Again, like all these levels, I don't think they're bad, I think they just don't play to Blood's strengths. There's a rematch with Chiog at the end of E2M7 though, but I just killed him with the crouch method. This is all capped off with E2M8, the Lair of Sheol, which is another boss level, and it's, well, it's a boss level, alright.
Came a spider and sat down beside her and said, "What's in the bowl, bitch?"
So Episode 2, Even Death May Die, it was a bit of a stinker. A lot of the levels were just not really that fun to find your way through, and they all kind of blend together as the snow levels. Sheol was a lot more annoying than Chiog, and the whole thing was a lot more... one Cyberman out of a Piccolo. No bullshitting, this episode was, for the most part, spectacular. It starts off with an absolute banger of a level, Ghost Town. The atmosphere is simply incredible, and this level perfectly shows how the build engine can make a level seem like a real place, but still be fun to play through. The next level, The Siege, continues the theme of urban environments, but this one is being bombed by someone, and you're caught in the crossfire. The only annoying part was getting out of this first room. I think these cracks should have been a little bit more defined, because I thought they were just a part of the normal wall texture. But regardless, I powered through and was introduced to the wonderful thing that is the Tesla gun. This thing is fucking great. It does huge damage to everything in the game, which is especially helpful for hellhounds, as they can be somewhat tanky. The next level was a sewer, which initially gave me a sense of dread, but after getting through some of the level, I found it wasn't that bad. I don't have much to say about it, it was just a sewer level. The one after, however, I liked a lot more. E3M4, the sick ward, is in my opinion the peak of this episode. This level was simply a joy to play through. I loved the contrast of the rooms being, well, obviously a hospital, but like in this room, there's torture devices, and all the different rooms being labeled as wards for different diseases. Goodness me, it was simply stupendous. 10 out of 10 level. Then the next two fucking sucked. No other levels in this game infuriated me to the point that E3M5 and 6 did. For one thing, they're both factory levels, which is very fucking boring. I've seen a generic industrial facility in like every game ever, and I'm quite tired of it. Secondly, the setting of a factory feels kind of weird in a game like Blood, where I'm shooting cultists, zombies, hellhounds, literal ghosts. You get the point. It's harder to tell where I'm going and where I've been because every wall is gray and metal and F tier level, bad, very bad. And then the last level is just another boss, Cerberus.
Good doggy. Play dead.
I killed him. 3.5 Chiaotzus out of Super Saiyan Goku. Episode 3 started off really fucking good. I loved it, especially coming from the slight disappointment of episode 2. But then after the 4th level, it soured into something nasty and ended on a neutral note with the boss level. Now you may notice that in this video, I've spent far less time on episodes 2 and 3 than I did with episode 1, and I'm going to do the same with episode 4. The reason? I think episode 1 is more important than the others. It is the introduction to the game. It sets the tone, has the best idea of what it wants to be. After episode 1, the combat mostly stays the same, save for a few more enemies and a couple new weapons. So the main metric that I'm judging this game on is level design. We start off episode 4 with Butchery Loves Company, a very short but very fun level. Right off the bat, I know this episode isn't fucking around because by the end of it, I've already got a Tesla gun and a spray can. The next level, the Breeding Grounds, was a very interesting concept, being a breeding facility for gill beasts. It's also a very short level, but still a good one. The third level, Charnel House, I could not tell you anything about it, honestly. All I remember is annoying water, annoying door not indicating that I could open it, big herd of zombies. The next level, the third instance of the 4th level in an episode being a banger. Crystal Lake, baby. This was my favorite level of episode 4. Once again, because the atmosphere is just perfection. The sound of general quietness, just nighttime bugs, all taking place within a few cabins and the Crystal Lake. I also love this level because it gives you the last weapon in the game, the Life Leech. This is a very powerful weapon, so conserve the ammo when you can. I mainly saved it for boss enemies. The next two levels are kind of a blur. I was playing this at 4 a.m., just kind of doing the motions, not really thinking too much. I know E4M5 was good, not annoying, and E4M6 was also fine, but they share the same problem that E1M5 and 6 had, which is they both just kind of feel the same. Then I got to E4M7, which by all accounts should have been really cool, but this was the most frustrated I got, all because I didn't turn around when looking at an elevator. What pissed me off more was to get to the exit, you have to backtrack to this room that you otherwise wouldn't want to go back to, and there's no indication that you have to go there specifically. Shit level, I hate it. And finally, everything culminates into E4M8. All of Epiphany. There's rematches against the previous 3 bosses, nothing special there. And then we get to fight the big bad himself, Chernobog. He's not very hard, except for the few times I died because I wasn't paying attention.
Good, bad. I'm the guy with a gun.
So there we have it. All 4 episodes of Blood completed. But I'm not done yet. No, we're going all the way with... Yeah, baby, you thought I wouldn't do it, did you? Well, I am, and here we are at Welcome to Your Life, the first level of Postmortem, which I must say is simply stupendous. And I'm gonna go ahead and say the whole episode was good. I don't think there was a single level I didn't like, or even one that got annoying. All the levels here are just the right length, and they're all designed wonderfully. They all ride that line of immersive but not labyrinthian. The new enemies were fine, I suppose. They all make sense. New cultists that only throw dynamite, and cultists that shoot Tesla guns, and... plants. The one thing that is questionable design-wise was the beast. They're only in the last level and start off as tougher cultists, and once they die, they turn into this creature and will aggressively chase you around and attempt to stomp your testicles. Sometimes, it works very well. They were a bit of an obstacle to get through, but then the level was over, and by extension, the episode was over. Good shit. Now... final set of levels, Cryptic Passage. I ain't gonna spend a lot of time talking about these. It's kind of the same thing as Postmortem, where these levels are better than the base game, a lot more linear, but more packed with detail, more fun, because you get all the ammo you could ever want. I will say it is quite devious to pit me against 4 stone gargoyles. Very bad. Don't do it again. I have finally done it. You all asked, and I delivered. I played through every episode of Blood, and you know what? I had a good time. I think you are all right. It shouldn't be in C tier. It should be in B tier. Yeah, that's right. I'm not moving it up to A or S, because it ain't perfect. It is good, sure, but it still has its flaws. Mainly the fact that there's still some levels that are very maze-like, which is objectively not fun. I don't care if you played this game when you were 7 years old. That does not mean this product is without flaw. Discord servers in the description. Now get off my train.
Halali shower. The same as you, Baka.
Something feels so wrong.